Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Donnie. We're here live at the crime scene at No Gatekeeping. Welcome. This is our first episode. And we with the man, the myth, the legend, Harlem's very own, Belchez.
I appreciate you. I appreciate being here. I always want to make sure I show love, especially early on, man. I'm like the Jackie Robinson of this, man.
Yeah,
I'm
you are
glad to be the
pioneer.
first one here. I'm the pioneer. We're gonna get a lot of good questions answered, and we have some fun tonight.
Amen, my brother. Amen. So you're known for making clothing, shoes, now sunglasses.
Oh yeah.
You're known for fashion. Let's call it that. What else do you do throughout the day?
And I usually don't like to talk about it, but very much like yourself, I've been in education for maybe now, I think like the last 16, 17 years. Second grade teacher, fifth grade teacher, can't stand middle school. But I taught fifth grade, taught high school graphic design, digital photography, was a parent coordinator, was an assistant principal, dean of culture, staff support teacher, assistant dean, basketball coach, and I don't even play ball. They just
Do it at you.
Yeah, you want to pause? They just was like, flagrant foul. It was just it was like, you want to coach? I was a coach. You know how it is being in the building, being a black man. You want to support all the causes in the building. So that's a little secret that people don't know a lot about me. Long time. Education is heavy and it takes a lot on your toll, but it's important. Because not a lot of us in the building. So
how do you maneuver your creative mindset? While working, because I know education could take a toll on your mental.
Yeah.
So how do you still, keep the creative juices flowing? Pause. You know what I'm saying?
I think creativity for me never stops. And I try to incorporate the creativity throughout my day in the building and with kids. But it is difficult. But the one thing, you have about school, is there's no weekends. Mm-hmm. So I utilize that time. There we have lots of breaks, midwinter, spring break, you got Easter off and Yom Kippur. There's so many breaks. So in those breaks, I try to utilize that time to really tap in and be creative. But I'm always drawing, I'm always thinking, I'm always trying to do something that will allow my creativity to never stop. So,
question. So that's important to me because, creativity, I think is it's important to have and to keep going. Like, so when you come across a creative block or those blockages that stop you from getting your creative thoughts out, what do you do to?
That's a good question. I should go to the batting cages. Creativity is, for me, it comes easy and often, but times when I do get the blockage. No freaky is, I go to the batting cages and I'll just hit baseballs. Mm-hmm. Baseball, I love baseball. Baseball is one of my favorite pastimes, and it just helps me to just like free up some space in my mind, and especially like when I'm exhausted, I don't drink and smoke. So when I'm exhausted, I'm at my most relaxed, and I'm able to kind of see things and receive messages a lot easier. And then, the creativity kind of falls back in slowly. So definitely use the batting cages as a way to kind of get myself back in space.
I love that. All right. So major question. In terms of the education and what you're doing right now, if you have a balance beam, which one is overweighing which one? And how do you want the balance to lean in your favor? Into which direction eventually?
Well, first and foremost, Donnie, I just want to say these are great questions, and I can tell that you're a teacher because these are some teacher-ass questions. Balance, man. Being creative, it's so difficult to not have balance because it's oftentimes very lopsided. So I'm still struggling with trying to figure out how to keep balance. Still struggling trying to figure out how to do that, but I actually don't even have an answer on how I balance that because oftentimes I'm very unbalanced. Oftentimes I'm up late doing things creatively and knowing that I got to get up in the morning unload a bus of kids or deal with some issues with some parents. So I don't have much balance, and I think that's the secret to my success is I'm very unbalanced. I'm very like, school is important to me. Don't get me wrong, but it's very like, how it is. Some days it's like heavy school, and you can't even. I remember days, and I just went home and go to sleep at 5:30.
Because you're so exhausted.
5:30, done.
I think the balance depends on the certain tasks that you have at your background. So, for instance, parent-teacher conference, right? So right now, all that took all my attention, all my energy. And it's like getting these parents in and doing those things. And it's like whatever I have going on outside of school doesn't matter. And I think that it's interesting because it's like the balance weighs itself sometimes, depending on what you're going through. But yeah.
That's a good question. Yeah, no, that's true.
All right, so what's one resource you wish you had, like starting out with your resource?
I wish I would. Chat GPT.
Yo, oh my gosh. Yo, as a teacher, as a student, as an educator, I wish.
If I would have had, and the reason why, and I use Chat GPT from a standpoint to organize my stuff. I don't ever go into Chat GPT and say, hey, and I'm not knocking anybody who does this, but hey, how do I sell or how do I make this cool? For me, it's just, I can't spell for nothing. For nothing. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Guys, when you spell phone, I'm like FONE. Where the P? The P is silent. Why use it? But I mean, for me, Chat GPT helped me organize my thoughts to where, so now, like, let's say if I'm pitching Adidas, or if I'm trying to work with Cap USA, or if I'm trying to get some money from G-Shock for Kingdom, I can now, visually I can execute anything. Like visually I can show you what I want to do, but verbally it would have taken me a long time to organize those words and put it in a proper place. So now what took me 2 months to do, put together a proper deck, I can do a deck in 4 days.
Fire.
3 days. If I really lock in 2 days, and that's just, I got those words in place. So, I think that was a huge tool for me. If I would have had that back then, for sure.
You started, was this social media?
Yeah, when I started it was actually not really, but it was. I wasn't using social media to that extent. It was
social
like
media wasn't as big, of course.
Right, the MySpace days and stuff like that, and like the introduction of Facebook. So I did use social media. Once I realized people were buying or trust me enough to buy, that's when I kind of turned it up and used social media to my advantage. So, for sure.
I want to talk about the trust about. You just sparked a question in my mind. I remember you starting off with your shoes, and you was telling me, yo, you had to trust the money that you was giving over to the people.
Oh my God.
To the other country in Asia, and like trusting that process, knowing that you're giving this large amount of money over there. What are some steps that you did that could help other people who want to create their own using another country, of course?
Right. It's really about. Everything is made in China at this point. So I think the proper steps now, what you could do, whether or not it's anything, whether or not you want to make a sneaker, a jacket, I say you perfect it here. When I say here, you perfect it at home. So there's plenty of places that you can go get a 3D sample made. I live in a Harlem market. Right. When it comes down to like sampling or anything need to be made, there's tailors in there that are better than any tailor in the United States. I'll put my money on it, and very inexpensive and fast turnaround time. So my best advice is, you make your tangible product here first to see how much it costs here with all your expenses. And then you do the math and see what it would cost over in China, because after the taxes and the shipping and the tariffs and all the other stuff, it might not be that much of a difference. And the headache and the waiting, and then you gotta, I remember one year I lost $30,000. $30,000.
You caught that? All right, it's cool. I'm gonna make sure we still awake.
I lost $30,000, and this was during the Beijing Olympics.
2008.
Yep, 2008. I had a really big shipment coming in. And because this stuff was made obviously in China, and they didn't want anything to go wrong because China was hosting the Olympic Games, everything that was going out the country was getting screened like 6 or 7 times. So, you know what I'm saying? So it would get to this spot, massive screening. That spot, massive screening. So I had booked maybe about $40,000 to $50,000 in orders. And yeah. And when it didn't arrive when it was supposed to, people pulling out their orders. By the time I got the t-shirts, it was like October. I'm trying to sell t-shirts in October.
For the Olympics.
Right. And I'm cooked. And then I had all this merchandise the next year, but I'm trying to sell old t-shirts to people who had placed orders. Like, yo, Belchez, we saw that last year. So I got jammed up, lost $30,000. And then I had the t-shirts in my man's storage. My man ain't pay his storage. Lost all the t-shirts. It was a nightmare. But, you know, I learned a lot, and I learned to like take my time, and I learned to like, you know what, I think the most important thing in business and in all of my failures and all of my successes is scaling. I've learned how to scale. And even with you with this podcast, it's just like, this is episode 1. How do we get to episode 100 and make money, maintain, build an audience, and get sponsors? What does that look like from 1 to 100? And learning the business and learning how to scale is something that even I'm still learning now, and I've made so many mistakes and I've kind of figured that out. So scaling is something that's very important in any business.
Oh, man. You're killing my questions here, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So
Where'd you get the questions from? ChatGPT. No.
I ain't gonna lie to you. 7 of them were from ChatGPT.
Okay.
And the other 7 were from the teacher himself. Thank you.
But you have 36 cards in your hand. Show the camera. What is that's not you? I know you're not teaching the kids math.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a math teacher. The math is not math right now. We're off the
about
clock.
to hit him with that is not 7.
We ain't live at the clock. Come on, man.
7
You see
where?
what's going on here? No gatekeeping, man.
No
You know what I'm saying?
gatekeeping. Yeah, please. That's 73 cards, man. It's a half an hour show, not a 4.5-hour show. Go ahead.
So what's the problem in your community that you want to fix through your industry?
Ownership.
Ownership. Amen. And can you speak more about that? Because Belchez, like, I know how you put your name on everything, your label, and I love that.
We don't own anything. Like anything. We don't own a newspaper. We don't own the social media. We shout out to Jalen Brown, who said, I don't need Nike. I'm gonna make my own sneaker. Shout out to Starberry, who made his own sneaker. You know what I'm saying? But and people laughed at LeVar Ball when he was like, "Yo, I don't want my kids doing that." The sneaker was fire. It was $250. He just had to stay grounded and stick to the script.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm a big believer in ownership. I'd rather own 100% of a failing business than get 10%, because I'm gonna turn that business over 10% of a successful business that I really can't control. And it's really difficult. Like we can't control the narrative on our own success because we don't own anything. Bob Johnson, I know people don't remember BET. When BET was really around, we had Travis Smiley, who had it was Black News that was on there. Then it was financial information for Black people. Then it was like Sunday service where you can learn the church. Then he had like roundtable talks with other successful Black people. And it was, of course you had the videos and the other stuff in between, but it wasn't all goofy shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not to say the music is goofy, but that can't be the entire thing. And I understand he wanted to make money and he became the first Black billionaire, but Viacom literally just bought BET to destroy it. Yeah. They bought it and they started pulling the news off. I literally remember watching BET and Fox News would say something about the story, and then BET would have the proper story.
That's
what I'm
crazy.
saying? It'd be like it'd say something like Donnie shot 2 people, and on BET it'd be like, actually they were shooting at Donnie first,
Yo, that's crazy.
and Donnie picked up the gun and returned fire.
Yo, man, ask you about that. Do you think there's a certain narrative that media plays in terms of the black culture, the black?
Yeah, I mean, it is a systemic trap to keep us in a place where we cannot be successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We see the same shit, we hear the same shit, we respond to the same shit. It's so difficult for. I saw this girl that said this thing, and it was perfect. She was like, "Black people make poverty look so good, right? And the news reinforces how good we make poverty look. So if I'm a black kid and I see being poor is cool, I'm gonna identify with being poor and connect that to the black experience, as opposed to identifying where other cultures identify with, you know, their influence and their financial prowess, and I want to build on that. You know, and media plays into all of that, all this gangster shit in the movies, like, you know what I'm saying? Everything is just ties back to shit that's not successful, and it goes back to no ownership. We don't own anything. They took BET and dismantled it. What's his name? Tyler Perry tried to buy BET. BET right now is $2 billion in debt, and they want $3 billion for it. So you need $7 billion to fix this. So I mean, it's such a difficult thing, you know. It's sad, but you know, this is why I'm glad you know this platform is here to kind of just talk about this, and this is yours. You own this. You know, it's nobody else. You and your partners, and y'all look the same and sound the same, and that's the key to success.
Cool. I got two more questions for you. All right. How do you stay relevant? You know, how do you make sure that your clothing stays relevant? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I just feel like your pricing points are perfect. Your products are perfect. Your market is perfect. Yo, your artist, you paint. It's like, yo, like, how do you stay relevant?
I don't want to get smoked, no freaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's just like there's so many people out here that are doing, and there's very few people that are doing better than me. So I'm always in competition quietly with other people. You know what I'm saying? I look at it and I'm like, all right, well, your shorts is $110. I don't understand why. I make my shorts for $40. You know what I'm saying? And okay, so you did that little cute photo shoot campaign. Okay. Last summer, I froze my shorts in gigantic blocks of ice.
Yep, I remember that.
And I just left it on 116th Street. And then once they melted, people just took the shorts. You know what I mean? Creativity for me is a challenge, and I want to be the best at everything I do. You know, sometimes I fall short, but every time I step into that gym, that mental creative gym, I'm gonna try to put up those numbers. So I'm constantly competing with myself. I'm constantly competing with other people quietly, because for me, it's really about making sure that, because growing up, you know, I wasn't able to get all the fly shit. So I want to make sure that I want to make the fly shit affordable, and I also want to make sure that you know this is fly. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not throwing it up. I'm putting my energy and concept behind you to convince you it's fly. So I'm definitely in competition with other people, and even like my friends. They don't even know I'm in competition with them, but it's respectful. It's never like
it's healthy competition. I know.
Yeah, healthy competition. Yeah. There it is. Yeah.
So that just ties me to my last question. So what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Oh man, I think the legacy for me is really based on giving and community. I want people to know, you know, how much I care about my neighborhood. You know, and as teachers, and as you know, as frustrated you are with parent-teacher conference, as frustrated you are with people in the building. I'm not saying you got any beef with anybody in the building, because you know, a nigga lose his job and shit, come back like, yeah, you're gone. But you know, it is important for us to do the job that we're doing to build our community, because at some point, and you've had students that came in nasty and left there with your best friends.
That's a fact.
You know, and that's so important. And then that kid is going to do something that's going to make a difference. You know, Tupac said, I might not change the world, but I'm going to spark the mind that's going to change the world, you know. And I'm always conscious of that. And it's just like, I might not be the one that's going to change the world, but you're going to see something that I've done be inspired by something I said, see something in a place that you didn't think could even be possible for me to be, and be like, damn, shit, if Belchez did it, it's possible to do it, So I want to leave behind that legacy, to my students, people who shop with me, my sons, anybody that comes across with me, which is why, I'm big on no gatekeeping, So it's a perfect place for me to be, because the idea of gatekeeping is absolutely ridiculous.
Everything I create is art. It's art. Everything I create becomes your beautiful possession. That's the definition of Belchez. That's the definition of who I am.
I'm going to tell you something right now. This is the craziest. I'm not even going to say my man's name, So I'm talking to my man, Jewish dude, right? So he's telling me, he's like, yo, I got a store down in Soho. I'm like, Soho? He's like, yeah, and the store's finally doing well after like 2.5 years. It's I'm killing right now. I'm like, yo, how can you afford that? He looks at me and he says, Belchez, I got the Jewish price. I got the Jewish price. That's how I'm able to be successful. No gatekeeping on my side, Belchez.
So they looked out.
He said no gatekeeping out of his mouth. He said no gatekeeping on my side, Belchez. I got the Jewish price. So whatever price that is, if I'd have went in there, it'd have been $10,000 for me. He's paying $2,500 for a spot in Soho, and he finally has a successful business. And we're the only group of people that are consistently, I came up, bet. I'm not telling you how I got there. You got to figure it out. I mean, and a lot of it, unfortunately, isn't our fault, but we know better now through systemic, through systemic psychological warfare that was put on us, where we fought each other to be ahead. We haven't kind of broken out of that. So, gatekeeping is something that I will never do. Anybody asks me, Bell, where you get your shorts from and how you make it, I'm going to give you the factory.
Yes, he does.
Whatever you need. So, it's important, and then plus it's just like, that's healthy competition. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got some shorts, bet. In my mind, I'm like, this nigga, Donnie got some shorts, bet. I'm going to smoke Donnie this summer. Donnie don't even know. I gave you the connect. So you can't even be like, yo, Belchez, and give me the connect my shorts. It's the same silhouette. Why are my shorts better? Yeah, because I'm working harder, Donnie. And I'm going to dap you up. What's good, Dad? How you doing, man? How you doing?
Yeah,
good
that's
to see
healthy
you.
competition.
Good to see you. I walk away like, yeah, my shorts is better than his. But it's healthy competition, and I think that's what keeps me grounded for sure.
All right. So in the true energy of no gatekeeping, you know what I mean? Can you give me some secrets?
Oh, I mean, that's easy. I mean, every morning I read this thing called the AI Rundown. And the AI Rundown, it has all sorts of tricks to whether or not it's to manipulate photos, create new videos, add logos. People will call me, and well, now no one's gonna call me after this, but people will call me and say, hey, Belchez, make me a logo. I'm like, all right, $200. I get on my computer and, do a logo in 5 minutes, 4 minutes, and hit him like 3 days later and be like, well, here's your logo. I'm like, oh, thanks, Belchez. 3 days is fast. I tell people, well, it didn't take me 3 days to make the logo. It took me 17 years to make the logo and to be able to make it in 3 days. So I read the AI. I mean, the Rundown AI is a phenomenal place to just learn about AI and all the tricks. That's one. Another big secret is the tailors in the African market.
Got you.
There is a tailor right now in the African market that started the business. His name is Dom. Booth, what's that, 12, 13? Booth 16. His name is Dom. He started the business with Dapper Dan.
Okay.
When I tell you he can make a Pele for you, he can make a Pele for you today for like $200. You go supply the leather. He'll make a Pele for you, Pele quality. That's crazy. He made so much money with Dap, that it doesn't even make no sense, and he's right there on 116th Street, and people don't even know and just breeze by him. That's my guy. You know, he does like alterations. Like the African market is just full of gems. The homie in the African market, he added the little extra piece on this, added the tail on dropped the joint down on this. I didn't finish the jeans, but you know, cooked this for $20.
I thought those were finished.
Well, yeah, they kind of finished, but once I add some more stuff to it, but $20 to fix this on both legs, you know what I'm saying? So that's another good spot. What's another trade secret that what's a good trade secret? Yes, Nissan. So it's Nissin, Nissan hats. When you go there, go to Valerie. What I'm talking about, the best
Valerie.
Valerie. Nissan hats, and they do embroidery. So, and their quantities are low. So if you're starting out, and I always tell people to start out with hats because male, females, you know, adjustable. You can wear whoever can. You're not gonna have a fit issue, you know. Right. So Nissan caps, they have like maybe 500 different silhouette hats. All those foam trucker hats, they got there for maybe about $1.50, maybe $1.50. You find your logo, you embroider your logo on there real quick. Oh shit, I got so many trade secrets, but Nissan is a really good place to start with the hats. Another good trade secret. There's a vintage spot out in New Jersey. They got like $5 jeans. Udelco is an amazing spot. So if you just like, you trying to just print on some blanks or, you know, play around with some stuff, you don't have a lot of money to invest, you can go to Udelco or L Train Vintage in Brooklyn. I don't know if you know L Train Vintage. That's a good little spot. You know what I mean? That's where you can start, just kind of playing around with just you know, if you want to draw and just play around. Also, Blick 125th, when they have the friends and families, they don't really advertise it. But I can go on and on.
Yo. You should start your own like fashion school. Or
I can go on and on and on and on about like all of the mistakes. I literally went to fashion college with the amount of money I've lost. I paid for college. I paid for FIT twice almost. The money I lost in China and the mistakes I made and things not getting there, and you know what I'm saying. So I got a lot of secrets. Maybe you bring me back like on episode like 100.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
You're gonna be popping then.
Oh yeah.
I ain't worried about it.
I might not get a slot.
Sponsored. Then, huh? Pink Horse. Yo, Cam, holla at me, man. You know what I'm saying?
I might not. Cam is killing. I'm so happy for him.
That's my boy.
I'm so happy for him. You get Cam on the show, that'd be great.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. You hit me with the rock eyebrows. Okay. Can we cut?
Yo.
Is that a cut?
Yo.
Is that a cut?
Yo, Belchez, man. I love you, man. You my brother.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for coming, my brother. Yo, you heard it here first. No gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping.
Please tune into the first episode with your boy Belchez. I'm your host, Donnie, live at the crime scene, and it's a wrap.